Hey everybody, welcome. Hailing Frequentopi. It is Sci-Fi Sunday, and we are talking species. And we're going to be talking about all four movies. We're briefly going to touch on the comic books. I haven't read them, but I know Marty has and has a few on display. And it should be good. By the way, I am joined here today by my good friend, Trash Picture Show. We have the good friend way on the end over here. Sharks, Monsters, Madmen. My pal Deacon down below. My other pal over here. Trenchy over there. And we are talking about it. So I'm just going to open up with the question I always like to ask. Have you seen these movies? Do you like them? What's up?
I've seen the first two. I enjoyed them in no small part to Natasha Henstridge. That said, I done a review for this a while ago, and people could easily blow it off as like some fucking smutty Basic Instinct meets Alien fucking wankfest, but it's not. It's a lot more clever than it is. Good science fiction, good kind of writing, interesting characters, and an interest. Again, big fan of Alien, big fan of Predator, love the thing. And this, we get another kind of classic contemporary alien horror monster in Still. The two, I like, not as good, not as strong, haven't seen the other ones. I saw part of 3 and just was like gone after that. But first one solid, second one's fun.
All right. And Mark, what did you think? Have you seen these? Do you like these? What's up?
Saw the first one, watched half of the sequel, and I was like, after this, I do not need to watch any more of these movies. I agree with Marty. Natasha Henstridge is the main, your main reason to watch Species. Yeah, I agree with the whole, it was Alien meets Basic Instinct. Sequel didn't really do anything for me. It just felt like they were going on and on and on about the same thing. So it's like, okay, I could have just watched the first one and it's the same thing. And the first one is a much better film.
All right. Deacon, have you seen these films? What's the story with you, man?
I'm 100% sure I've seen the first one because I remember the story, I remember the plot, I remember how nice her butt was in some of the scenes. It's just the sequels. I don't think I've seen the sequels. I think I bailed out after the first one.
Oh. I'm in theme here. Trench, have you seen these? What do you think? Is this new for you, or what's up?
No, I haven't. At one point, I thought I had, but I haven't seen these. I've seen clips of like the main chick with her shirt off and shit, and I've seen clips of the alien, the okay looking CGI alien, but I haven't seen this. But the interesting thing about the actress, though, in every picture I see her in, yeah, she's naked, but she has an innocent look to her. So I do find that interesting.
I find it interesting that we've got Ethel's watched all 4, Trashy's watched 3, Marco's watched 2, I've watched 1, and you've watched none. It's a perfect number symmetry.
Yeah, it's a fun fact about this. I mean, it's really not fun. I mean, it's a fact. This was Natasha Henstridge's first role. This first movie she ever did. This was her big ticket out of modeling. Before she did this, she was a model. She was a supermodel. She used to posing nude, which is very handy for this movie. And one of the reasons they chose for this film was she was pretty much up to do anything. And she was not like super experienced so that they could get this sort of fresh look about her where she just sort of looks like the world is new to her, because for her, acting in the movie was new. This was very new to her, and she was just excited to be done with modeling, because from her interviews and her commentary on the film, you could tell that that was a world she did not enjoy, which, pretty superficial. Nobody wants to live off of a grape and a baguette a day.
Yeah, at least she had a jumping off point into acting, which got her out of the.
This movie was directed by Roger Donaldson, who did Dante.
That's a great movie. I really, I don't want to get off topic here, but I really did enjoy
Out of the gig, out of the biz there. Yeah. Anyway, I was trying to say this is done by Roger. Well, yeah, he did that. He did Cocktail as well. Not really much for horror movies. He hadn't done a lot of horror movies or science fiction, so this was sort of new for him as well, which is it's interesting. And the script for this movie, it actually started out as a spec script that it ended up being very popular when it got shopped around, and MGM won the bid, and they brought it to life. Of course, you got Natasha Henstridge, as previously mentioned, playing Sil. You also got Michael Madsen, guys, Kill Bill, Blood Rain. I mean, you know who he is. Which he was great in this too. And of course, you also got Ben King's Sexy Beast, Gandhi. So it's kind of interesting. You got Mahatma Gandhi leading this hunt for an alien life form. It's always neat.
You also don't forget Ben Kingsley was one of the main villains in Iron Man.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
He was the fake Mandarin. He was the fake Mandarin.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Iron Man 2. I mentioned that. I thought. Iron Man 3. Excuse me. You also had Marge Heldenberger from CSI, and she was in an episode of Spencer for Hire, which I've got to mention that because, as you know, Spencer for Hire, you got Hawk, you got friggin' Captain Sisko, you got Avery Brooks, so there's your Star Trek connection. Got to mention that. It's always good. And you got Forrest Whitaker, guys. Forrest Whitaker. Friggin'
Ghost Dog, Way to Samurai.
Field Earth, Bloodsport, friggin' Good Morning Vietnam, Forrest Whitaker. And you know what? Who else is also in this movie? Alfred Molina. Dr. Octopus, Spider-Man, he was also, he was Satipo in Raiders of the Lost Ark and Angel in Maverick as well, which, you'll remember him. And also in this movie, you got a very young Michelle Williams. This was not her first role, but she was very young in it. You might remember her. She was Molly in Halloween H2O. She was also Jen Lindley in Dawson's Creek. That's like her most notable thing. She's also in that. Huh?
I don't want to wait for my life to be. I hate Dawson's Creek. That fucking tune sticks in my head. Sorry, Ethel.
No, it's good. It's a catchy song. It's a catchy song. Who doesn't like Dawson's Creek, honestly, right? I don't, but
I'm not a big fan of Dawson or his creek.
I want to drown Dawson in the creek. Anyway, sorry, Ethel. Here, we're sidetracking you.
No, it's all good. It's all good. But pretty good cast for this 1995 movie, don't you think, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Solid.
I think that's part of what helped it out a lot. I mean, besides naked Natasha Henstridge, which let's face it, guys, there's nothing not to love about that. Yeah, it's kind of funny, MGM and Geiger, they kind of butt heads a little bit when they were doing this movie. In fact, that scene where she's on the train and she's having a dream. She's still a little girl, right? And she sees that big train, that nightmare train. It's like a skull, and it's got the friggin' jaws and stuff. MGM initially didn't want to include that.
Really? They didn't want to include it?
Yeah. Did he end up forking out some of his own money or cutting some of his costs to get it put in because he was adamant about getting it in there?
Yeah, he spent, H.R. Geiger spent $100,000 of his own money building that train in scale miniature and setting up all these cool effects for it, and then chips it over to MGM and has them film it on a soundstage. But in fact, if you get the DVD, there's footage of him building the train, and he used horse skulls and tiger rib cages and various other bones and natural materials in constructing the train. And of course, it had a detachable tongue you could fill with blood, and the blood would come out over the tongue and over the teeth of the skull. And I don't know, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, it sounds it.
I think it would have been a great loss if it hadn't been included.
Yeah.
But it was just one of the struggles with this film, and Geiger, he had a mixed bag with this because he finally got a chance to do an alien that wasn't ugly in his terms, because before he's making scary looking aliens with ugly faces and the huge teeth and all sorts of things, and this was his chance to do in his own words, a woman in his painting. Which, if you've ever seen any of his work from Necronomicon, that's basically still all in that a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got the beautiful humanoid figure, but with monstrous tentacles and claws. They're still attractive, but dangerous.
Yeah, well, he was really excited because he could incorporate Natasha's face into the design and stuff. And if you look at it, it's very much incorporated. He used a live cast of her face to make some of the appliances and the various creature effects. And again, he wanted to do this, he wanted to build this 100% himself, but due to the fact that he couldn't fly out to Hollywood because he was busy with his mother, who was very sick at the time, so he couldn't really leave. But he spent a lot of his own money and time building stuff to try and convince the studio to do things the way he wanted to do, and to kind of get him to do it over there. But yeah, it's kind of cool. I'm gonna deviate from the Geiger stuff just for a moment because there's some fun stuff about this movie aside from that. But I will get into that a little bit. Besides that, you guys know that this is only one of a handful of movies that Michael Madsen's actually proud of, that he liked.
Yeah, he started a lot of direct-to-DVD shite, in fairness. There's this, Reservoir Dogs, maybe Whitaker. The man really hasn't done the top-tier video shelf kind of movies, few and far between. So it's understandable. Yeah.
But it's like you'd think he'd be happier about some of his work, But he even was saying about the sequel. He said the sequel's lousy. He did it just for a paycheck. I wouldn't say it was that bad, but hey, Another thing about this movie, Michelle Williams, who plays young Sil and later is in Dawson's Creek and all that, she actually hates this movie. I guess after it was released, they used to bully her and pick on her. The other acting kids. I don't know. I don't know what scenario she's in, which is getting bullied and picked on, but it happened.
Didn't she have a bunch of tentacles come out of her face and like go all fucking weird? Maybe they're like, "Hey, tentacle face," or like vagina head or some shit like that. Probably.
Yeah, it kind of depends if she was going to a school of other students, not acting students, but actual students.
Hey, kids are kids. They're
Yeah.
assholes.
Kids can be so cruel.
Oh, that scene where she's got the tentacles coming out of her and stuff. Before it's the scene, like, because it's a point in that scene where it's all CG, but like where they bubble out of her hands and her face and stuff. That's actually an appliance where they put fake skin over her face, and they've got these things underneath it, and they're pulling them with wires, and then they take the wires out later.
Cool.
And when they worked very closely with Geiger on this film, and I guess there was a little bit of a language barrier because the guy's Swiss. English is not his first language, so they're talking to him on the phone, and he's describing what's happening to her in this scene, and they misunderstand what he was saying. He's trying to say like worms or pimples or something like that, and he kept saying pickles. And he's describing, he's like, yeah, she's on the train and she's in the mirror. She sees all these pickles on her hands and the pickles coming out of her face.
Oh my god, that would have made such a different movie. We're looking for a woman. The woman covered in pickles.
It's the pickle monster. Yeah, that's kind of, it's a challenge when you work with people and you're over the phone and you're via fax machine a lot of the time. And language barriers. Another fun thing about this, getting back to Michael Madsen, another fun Michael Madsen thing. Him and Heldenberger, they have a scene together where they're going at it. They have a sex scene or the beginnings of one, and that's actually 100% improvised. Like there was stuff written for them to do, and it was going to be a lot different. But on the day of filming, they just decided to do whatever the hell they wanted, and the director go with it. So
do you think they just had to get it out of their system? It's kind of like, let's not boot once and get it over and done with.
Yeah, so like he wasn't supposed to lift her up and slam her against the door, and like he wasn't supposed to fall over backwards onto the floor and stuff like that. It was just them screwing around and having fun.
It made it more natural as well. Just two colleagues, colleagues having a fucking quickie.
Yeah, and this was Michael Madsen's big chance to show his butt. Like if you see a scene, it's after they've already had their sex scene when Dan comes over to get their attention in their hotel room. He gets out of bed to answer the door, and he purposefully does it so that he's pulling up his pants, so you see his butt. And on the commentary, you can hear him complaining to the director, "Why didn't you show my butt longer? Blah blah blah. I wanted my butt in there more." That was like his big chance. But he was really just like to play a hero in this film.
Getting up at the crack of dawn.
Yeah. So there's a fun thing between him and Ben Kingsley. No, I don't know if there's as much fun for Ben Kingsley as it was for Madsen. But apparently Ben Kingsley was really protective over his chair on set. And Michael Madsen thought that was weird, and he sort of decided to have some fun with that. So he'd play all sorts of pranks on him. Like he'd put garbage in his chair, he'd move it around. At one point, he had it taped upside down from a crane.
See, one day it would have been nice if he had a mannequin dressed up in a fishing outfit with just a rod, and it just had a sign saying "Gone Directing."
I could actually understand why, because apparently Kingsley's supposed to be a pretentious fuck on set. He wants to be called. He wants other actors and crew members to call him Sir Ben Kingsley. He's like, I was knighted for a reason, you know. What an asshole!
I don't care.
Fuck it.
I don't care if you were knighted. You're an asshole in a tin can.
Yeah, he certainly takes himself seriously. So I guess Madsen sort of played pranks on him, kind of screwed around with him.
Good. Sounds like he needed it.
Yeah. Oh, he did this other thing. There's a scene where Ben Kingsley's character is sort of looking down into a screen and he's watching something. And he's supposed to be watching what's going on in the lab and what's happening with, I guess, the alien DNA. And as a prank, Michael Madsen replaced the tape that was supposed to be playing in that with the Grinch Who Stole Christmas. So in that scene, he's actually looking at the Grinch.
And he's trying to pull off a serious, oh my god, it's an alien that's going to kill everyone. No, it's the Grinch. He just wants to steal Christmas.
You're rotten. Mr. Grinch. You're the king.
I guess his reason for picking the Grinch was to Madsen. It sort of sounded like Fitch, which it's Grinch Fitch. It really doesn't, but
You're a Grinch Finch, a Finchy Grinch.
I like they get along now, I guess, supposedly. But at the time, Kingsley wasn't real thrilled about this kind of treatment and pranking. And when they went to go see it at the premiere, Ben Kingsley would not sit with him.
I'm not sitting next to that fool. He'll mess with my seat.
They get along now, probably because they don't see each other anymore. They're like, we're not working with each other. We can get along now.
The thing is, I had heard ever since he done Gandhi, he had a massive ego, which is fucking hilarious because, like, the last big movie he was in was Michael Myers, The Love Guru. Fuck you, Kingsley. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And the Love Guru was abysmal.
It was a bomb. It was an absolute bomb. Sorry, Ethel, sidetracking you.
You're talking about Kingsley, so it's right on, you know. Yeah, it's just I don't know. I kind of understand like what it's like if someone's screwing with your shit, but I mean, at the end of the day, he probably wouldn't have touched his chair if he wasn't being a pretentious ass.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm of the mind of if you're going to be a dick and everybody else is going to be nice, then I'm going to pull pranks on you. I'm going to make it so you have to be nice to people or you're going to be a dick.
But they were thrilled with getting Kingsley for this movie because it sort of legitimized it as not just a science fiction movie, you know, not one of those movies. That's the director's words. I don't know what he means by that, but...
It's not a porn movie, and it's not an horrendous evil alien monster that wants to eat people. They just want to shag them to death.
Well, she was searching for the perfect male to mate with, and like, what woman can't identify with that, honestly?
It's a shame that no perfect male exists.
Fun fact about this, they tried to get Pierce Brosnan for this movie. They offered him a part, and he initially was sort of interested, but he couldn't do it because at the same time, guys, you know what he was busy doing?
GoldenEye.
He was busy filming GoldenEye, that's right. But, yeah. It's kind of cool. And, of course, because this was Natasha Henstridge's first movie that she'd ever done, she has a sex scene in this movie. And while she was comfortable with all the nudity in the film, she was a little bit nervous when she was going to do that scene. And she's never filmed one before. So, she, you know, I mean, what else are you going to do? You got all these people watching. And to put her at ease, Melina, Doc Ock.
Melina.
To put her at ease, told her that this was his first sex scene too, because his other sex scene that he'd ever done in his career was with a man in the film Prick Up Your Ears.
Pricking your ears.
Yes, indeed.
It doesn't count if it's a guy.
So technically he wasn't lying. It was his first sex scene with someone of the opposite sex.
But she found that amusing. Exactly.
He's actually supposed to be super nice and out to earth in real life, unlike Kinsley.
Molina's the man. He's underrated as fuck.
He found that amusing, and they settled down.
He will forever be my Doc Ock.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so there was that. That was kind of cool. Cool facts to find out. From a special effects standpoint, this movie made use of a lot of great practical effects, like the cocoon that's in the film. That's actually trash bags, believe it or not.
Ooh.
Yeah, just air blowed in and out of them, and they're dressed up, covered in stuff to make it look like.
Yeah, I believe they used a similar effect in Aliens for the alien queen.
Queen, yeah.
Yeah, it's a simple effect, but it's very, very good, and it lends itself to practical work very well.
Yeah. Another cool thing about the cocoon scene, to film that and do it in a way where it would look like Natasha was tumbling out of the cocoon as she does, we're all familiar with that. Not all of us, but Trenchy, you loved that scene if you saw it, I'm sure. Make it look that way. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, my bad. I just said probably. My bad.
I didn't mean to. I should have waited longer before I started talking. But
you're good.
To make it look that way, they actually built the inside of the train car upside down, and so it's not like it's hanging from the side of the wall and the ceiling. It's actually on the ground, and they flipped it after the fact, and they had to have Natasha Henstridge completely bare-ass naked, and they put KY jelly in, I guess, crock pots to keep it kind of warm, and they covered her completely in KY jelly, and they had two PAs, two production assistants, push her out of that cocoon to get her to do it, because they had a lot of trouble getting that effect.
I think there was another reason for them having covering her in KY jelly, but that's neither here nor there.
Are you thinking of something naughty, Mark?
Yeah.
Ooh,
It's just
you naughty boy.
When you go to get this stuff and you hand it to the studio. Yes, I see. You got trash bags. You got some sodium lighting and a few gallons of KY jelly. What?
Is it someone's wedding anniversary, madam?
Like, we can understand everything else, but why do you need the trash bags? Is that to get rid of the evidence?
Yeah, so it's fun, and we were talking. I think we were talking out back about it, where she kills the rapey guy. Did we talk about that?
Yeah.
The diabetes guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was actually the actor who played that was Anthony Gudera. I can't pronounce his name, but that's his name. And, huh?
Gutierrez. I turned up in other stuff later on, I think.
I just find it strange.
He was in a few other things besides this. But sorry, go ahead, Deacon.
Oh no, I think I need to go because my sound is delayed and really disrupting the stream a bit.
You good, Deacon?
No problem. Just come back if you want to, or whatever. Just what you gotta do, man.
Yeah, I'll restart my system and see what happens.
All right. Sorry for the trouble. But anyway, that guy who she ends up killing, the diabetes rapey guy, is played by Anthony Gutierrez, who she kills him. After the fact, when they were done filming this, Natasha Henstridge actually went out on a date with this guy. I guess she liked what she saw, and of course, she sees him getting out of the shower naked. So the movie finishes, they go out, and they're out on a date, and they actually get held up at gunpoint.
Oh.
Just question here is this Anthony guy the guy who drowns in the hot tub?
No, that's
the dude who kind of forces himself on her.
The
spears him through the back of the head. I have a fun fact about that, Ethel, but I'll let you finish what you're doing.
Oh yeah, I'll finish the story real quick. So they're out on a date. They get held up at gunpoint, and I guess he was real calm about it. He's just like, I have no money on me or anything, and so they got let go. Natasha's just like, here's my money. I have jewelry. Here you go. Take it. And she was so scared, she made him come back to her hotel or her apartment with her that night and made him stay there the whole night. And she was so freaked out, she kept waking up and checking on him, making sure he was okay. And I guess he was just real calm and blah. And it turns out this guy spent a lot of time in India, a real spiritual fellow. Michael Madsen actually said that he walks around with a pocket full of angel coins. And he'll go and he'll ask people if they believe in angels. And if they say yes, he'll give them a little coin. So, it's kind of neat.
Yeah. It's very bohemian.
Yeah. But what were you going to say, Marty?
The tongue spear. That was a recycled, unused idea from Alien 3. Originally, the runner in Alien 3 in the monastery version was going to have, it wasn't going to have the inner mouth. It was just going to have a retractable barbed spear, which Syl has in her tongue. That's what comes out the back of his head when she's kissing him. So that's where he used that later on from Alien 3, unused Alien 3 for this. So bit of trivia for you, bit of nerdy trivia.
Another fun bit of trivia about that scene where she kills him with the kiss there, that was actually voted MTV's best kiss of the year.
I'm not surprised. There must have been many good contenders that year.
It was 95, so I mean, you got what you got in 95, guys.
That's dope.
Yeah. And another fun thing about this, which you probably know if you pay real close attention in the film, they might even say it, but the name Syl is actually S1L, which is the number of the cell where they made her in the medical lab. So that's kind of neat little trivia. In case you were wondering, I'll skip ahead. I'll do the Geiger stuff now because there's a lot on Geiger's involvement with just this film, guys. Like that kiss thing with the tongue. Geiger didn't like that. He was mad that they did that, where it comes shooting out the back of his head like that, because he felt like they've already done this. And, why are we just repeating ourselves? This is like the last movie with the Alien 3, and he didn't like that. Initially, what was supposed to happen was her tongue is supposed to be covered with all these sharp barbs, and it's supposed to go down the victim's throat, and it's supposed to rip out all their organs.
Yeah. That was what the xenomorph was supposed to do in Part 3. It had these little tendrils at the side of the tongue, like a harpoon.
Yeah, exactly like a harpoon. And in fact, he was trying to convince the studio that that's what they need to do with it. And he made a full-size replica of that tongue. His agent, actually, who helps him out with a lot of stuff, which I didn't know, but I found that out in my fact-checking portion of this, mailed him a bag of shark teeth. and Geiger proceeded to make a full-size model of what the tongue would look like with the shark teeth and the little hooks and stuff. And this studio still didn't buy it. But later, he would take that model and he would scale it down a little bit, and he cast it in silver, and he made a necklace out of it, and he gave both Natasha Henstridge and the director his tongue necklace as a gift.
Yeah, he does some really cool kind of weird out there stuff as well. If anyone's a fan of the band Korn, the lead singer has a special microphone made specifically by Geiger. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I don't know what you wear with a tongue necklace, but I'm sure it goes with something.
Chainmail dress. Chainmail dress. I don't know. Just.
You wear some sort of rubber latex with friggin' hoses and stuff. I don't know what to wear with that, but
Hey,
yeah. Oh, we got John Steele. I good, he's back. He was gone for a minute there. Geiger had a lot of input on this film, and he kind of got irritated with how much he was getting shot down because, he felt like they just weren't really receptive to his ideas, and a lot of it was just they've got to meet MPPA standards and stuff. Initially, for the end, he wanted the, you know how Syl has a baby and it eats a rat and stuff. Initially, they wanted a military guy to take it by the legs and bash it against the wall until there was nothing left but legs, and it was going to be the end. And obviously, that's not going to fly. It's not going to fly. He also wrote another ending for this that would have a big showdown with the military and Syl. And it would culminate in a drive-in where they're showing Alien on the screen. And it was going to end with Marge Heldenberger dressed up as a soldier blowing Syl's head off with a bazooka.
I wonder though, would Fox have given them permission MGM permission to use the clip? Would have been interesting.
They would have had to pay out the ass for that, I'm sure. And he was another thing. He did not like the use of CGI in this film, and of course, you guys know I'm inclined to agree with this point. And if you've seen the film recently, you know that the CGI does not hold up well at all.
I've seen clips of the CGI, and I'm like, oh god, it's okay, but the alien design's so dope that I wish it would have been practical or something, because it's a dope design. It's just the CGI
it is
is
practical.
so
Trench, they did do a practical version, but there's scenes where Syl is in kind of quadrupedal stance, and she's fucking running the tops and roofs of caves and bounding from ledges and attacking the members of the team. So I think for the more kind of extravagant or more kind of wide shots of Syl, full body of Syl, where she has to be doing a lot of action, they went with CG.
maybe I see like an action clip or something, because it looked like CGI, or maybe I just confused it.
Well, yeah, no. At the end of the film, when they're attacking Syl, it's like 99% of what you're going to see is going to be CGI. There's about 2 or 3 scenes at the very end where they used the bodysuit, because they had a full bodysuit and head made, and it looked really good. And it was actually worn by martial artist Dana He. So she wore that. She was Syl in the movie as far as the costume goes. She was a decent stand-in for Natasha because they were roughly the same height. She's a little bit shorter though.
The full body kind of costume and maquette. But you can see it briefly in the swimming pool where she's transformed and she's dropped briefly. I do fucking mean briefly, where she's given birth in the cave, and where she fucking after she fecks and kills Alfred Molina, she like busts through the wall. I think that's like the main parts I can think where you saw kind of the practical in full suit. There was a puppet as well. I think there was a rod puppet as well.
Yeah, they had a rod puppet, they had a full suit, and they had a mechanical head for the close up. And there's scenes strewn throughout the film where you can see the seal alien having sex with another alien underwater, and it's really distorted. And they used 2 wide-angle lenses piggybacked on each other to get that sort of warpy effect to the scene. And to get approval for that, they wanted to make Geiger happy, so they sent him like 20 or 30 minutes of just these 2 aliens fucking in a swimming pool underwater.
Of course, Geiger would be delighted by that.
Oh, he loved it. He loved it, and he thought that was going to be a lot of the movie. And he was very disappointed when that was just used for like five or 3 seconds here or there. And his idea was that the editors were too familiar with the footage, so they felt like it was longer. They had sort of a time distortion effect. But I mean, honestly, if this guy had his druthers, it would just be all aliens fucking the whole movie.
I'd watch that. I mean, huh?
It's a great design. I'm not gonna lie, it's a great design, guys. Like it captures the duality of the sensuality and the terror within one creature. Very much like his artwork brought to life.
Oh yeah, like it's taken from the Necronomicon painting, and there is obviously, because it's Geiger, there is hints of the xenomorphs. Parts of her body, parts of her shoulders, parts of her breast are translucent. Her hair is coiled into a kind of tribal spur at the back of her head, very like the xenomorph. So yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny. Initially, that whole character was supposed to be see-through. Like she was supposed to be translucent for most of the movie. And the transformation was also going to be different. Like initially, let me find my notes here, because I wrote it down because I actually found a nice interview where he was talking about it. Here it is. Yeah, originally he wanted a 4-stage transformation for Syl. She'd start out, Natasha Henstridge, then she'd get dark red, then she would get orange red hot, his words, and her clothes and hair would burn off, and on her back the spikes would come out, and then the weapons that she's got on her arms and on her shoulders or whatever are going to be like red hot steel, and she would then cool and become a transparent carbonized glass where you could see her bones and the veins and her internal organs and stuff. But they told him it was too expensive. They're like, we can't do this. It's too expensive. Yeah. He wanted her to glow too, and he actually built a silicone Syl head that was translucent and it glowed red, and it looked pretty cool. Like all the tendrils moved in the hair, and like it was very intricate. But it wasn't enough to convince them. Spent his own money doing this.
I liked it because he wanted to portray. He wanted, while she was in creature form, he wanted to show her emotions visually. So like she would, when she was in heat or when she was in kind of attack mode, her flesh would heat up and she would change, like certain animals, like certain insects and fish and stuff, where when they're mating or when they're aroused or when they're kind of in combat, they'll change the color. And I think that was a big influence on him as well. Yeah,
it's like a squid. Like squids, because they change color and stuff when they're emotional, and they have different emotions and stuff. And he actually, in addition to working closely with the director and the producer, of course, he did this all via fax and telephone. He invited Natasha Henstridge over to his house, and she came and hung out with him. And there's this great interview where she's talking about going to his house and how weird it was, and like I guess we knock out walls in some sections of the house and have it be all interconnected, and it was just really strange. Like you couldn't tell where the guy eats, sleeps, or anything. It was just weird and full of his art, like all his paintings and sculptures, and like I don't know.
And apparently, like he was an absolute teddy bear of a man. He was all about his mother. He doted on his mother. He loved getting shepherd's pie with Ridley Scott when he was shooting Alien, and just really lovely, kind of timid, kind of quiet man who liked to work in solitude. And like Fox didn't like that because they couldn't keep an eye on him, but Scott loved working with him. And
yeah.
you can see the dude does fantastic stuff.
Yeah, he had a lot of cool ideas, which sort of kind of helped him along with his design. Because initially he was obsessed with this idea of an arm and a foot, or an arm and a leg that are interconnected, and like his whole premise of your arms and your legs are like your slaves that do your bidding. But what if they had a mind of their own? And like, it's just crazy stuff this guy'd come up with. And like, you go to his house and he's got chairs made of skulls and like all sorts of freaky stuff. It's like,
there's one of my favorite pieces of his is called Baby Bullets, where it's an automatic weapon and it's babies curled up in the clip in the magazine of the gun. It's pretty awesome. The dude, I have a couple of his artwork books. And like there's one which is just a valley with mountains, but the mountains are just penises with spikes coming out of them. And it's like, okay.
I looked at some of his art books a while back, but they're really expensive. Sorry, Mark, what were you going to say? I didn't mean to cut you off.
I was just laughing at
Penis Valley.
At the Mount Rushmore of penises.
Or Grand Canyon, Mark.
Grand Canyon, Mount Rushmore.
Ben Grimm says
the fact that he built one kind of all combos lead to penis fucking bed.
Hey, this is not my fault, by the way. This is not my fault. Even though I think we did discover who might have inspired John's art, so.
Here's the fact. He actually was one of the forerunners to design the new Batmobile for Batman Forever. It looked like a cross between a bat and a tarantula.
Oh, and that never got used?
No, Jesus Christ, though.
Because that sounds amazing, though.
I think it was when Tim Burton was still connected with doing the third Batman movie, and he wanted to get a new design for a Batmobile, and it looks like a bat and a spider, and it was his Batmobile. So you can look it up online as well. It's a cool design.
That would have been badass. They should have done that. But yeah, it's just he's a crazy art this guy comes up with, and like I looked at getting some of his books in the past, but they're always so expensive. They're like hundreds of dollars sometimes. It's like Jesus, I like it, but I don't like it that much.
Ethel, I've one of his pocket books, and I have a larger version. Do you want the pocket version?
Oh no, dude, that's expensive shit, man. I can't take that from you.
Okay. Oh, hey, Kara, we got a Kara in the chat.
Hey, Kara.
Hey, Kara.
Wait, Michael Madsen as Batman.
What?
Joker, tell me where Rachel is.
That would have been great.
Please, for the love of God, Batman, stop.
Maybe he could play like the Bruce Wayne in Batman Beyond, the old Bruce Wayne that's like grumpy and shit.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Maybe he could play like the Bruce Wayne in Batman Beyond, the old Bruce Wayne that's like grumpy and shit.
No.
That would have been great. You get Vic Vega as Batman. That's great.
I can just see it now. You start Joker's hogtied, and you start hearing "Stuck in the Middle with You."
You want me
he's
to tell
doing-
you what? You want me to tell you where Rachel is? What are you gonna do? Torture me, Batman? Torture you? That's a good idea, Joker.
He's like,
he's doing.
I'm not
He's
gonna ask.
dancing the back dance by Prince.
It's like, I'm not going to ask you questions, but I'm going to torture you because I like to torture people.
Can you just imagine though, if you put Madsen as Vince Vega, the Dark Knight, with Ledger's Joker?
Jesus.
That would
Legend-
be funny as hell.
Legendary. Yeah, so it's neat. It's neat. That would have been cool. I would have dug seeing that. Would have dug that for the Batmobile. As I mentioned, getting back to Geiger here, he battled with the director, the producer, the studio over elements he felt followed the other film far too closely. In fact, he's quoted as saying, "Why must this film be made in so much a repeat way?" Which, Swedish or Switzerland. So, what are you gonna do, man? It's broken English. You know what he means. Like he thought the burning oil pool at the end too much like Terminator 2, and Aliens ending. The fire was overdone as a finale device. The chest bursting and the tongue ram too close to the Alien franchise. He was so bothered by this, he actually sent a fax to the studio and to the producer and director, where he'd sort of done a sketch like a little cartoon, and the sketch was of a man with a flamethrower between his legs, and he was standing over a kneeling woman crouched doggy style and bathed in flames, and he titled it "Fucker." And I guess the production team, rumor has it, liked it, and they made T-shirts out of that. So that's kind of funny. But he was pretty upset, and he outlined for them the things that he didn't like and the things he thought were derivative. He's like, he titled it 5 Things Borrowed from Aliens 1 through 3, and he cited the chest burster, the punching tongue, the cocoon, the flamethrowers, and himself. So he was just fit to be tied about it.
That's the thing, though. There's no doubt in my mind that that's why he got the job, because he done one of the most indelible, dare I say, erotic fucking monsters there is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
It's just like he's an artist. That's the thing with Geiger, is he was an artist first and a business person, filmmaker, well, special effects person last. So like, it was never really about how much money can we do this effect for, or is this going to be too much, or what's going on with this. It's just like, can we bring this to life? Let's see this. I want it on the screen, and that's kind of how he was. And he was very unhappy with this movie. He was unhappy with how they took his designs and made them CG. He was really upset with that. He was adamant he did not want CG in this film. He actually went so far as to storyboard and I guess he made a miniature too, potentially. I'm not sure. I couldn't confirm that, but he storyboarded a scene in a train station, and he had like all the camera angles, and he had everything down so like you could do it practically, and with blue screen techniques and stuff, and you wouldn't need any CG. And he did this to sort of prove it to them, and I guess they were just like, yeah, that's nice, Geiger, thank you. I will call you if we need another alien design. So
You know, if I was Geiger, I'd be like, why are you guys questioning me? I've done this before.
The,
Shoot.
the thing is, Marco, I think he just felt that he was kind of in this cycle of, oh, I'm the guy who you get to do a fucking sexy, scary alien, and it probably bugged him. There's one open in Munich, Cara. A friend of mine went there not too long ago.
oh yeah, the Geiger bars. They still existed when this
And
machine.
Japan, Ethel. I think there's one in Japan as well.
Yeah, which that'd be a place I'd like to check out at some point, because that's, you know, that like you're gonna see a lot of dope shit there. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'd love to see that.
The friggin' Geiger bars. Or Geiger bars. I don't know. I'm probably mispronouncing it. I've always heard it Geiger, and it wasn't until recently I started hearing it pronounced the other way. No. So soon,
Hey,
mate.
Natalie.
If I had $1 for everything I mispronounced. Hey, Natalie.
And
But no, it's cool, and that's basically what I had for the first Species movie. Do you guys have anything you want to add to that first one, or?
I mean,
Not much. Only like they done Dark Horse being they haven't done the Alien and Predator and Tin adaptations. They did do a movie adaptation, which is essentially retelling in 4 issues the first movie. They also done a sequel comic, which was before, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, it did come out before Species 2. With this one, there was a compatriot to Finch who created another hybrid, but using a Y chromosome. So his name was Cal. He escapes. He becomes obsessed with this teenage runaway, and also becomes embroiled in a fucking jewelry heist. So yeah, it's an okay comic. It's essentially the first movie retold with a male hybrid and a jewelry heist thrown in. So, but the artwork is awesome. I particularly like this cover here. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, here, let me make it big so we can all see this stuff. Hold on. Solo layout.
That's cool cover. That's Cal. That's Cal in his hybrid form. That's the cover for the movie. That one of the movie adaptations, Still's Eye, and that's another cool one. That's Cal. But yeah, Dark Horse Comics makes sense. They done adaptations of Alien, Predator, the thing. There was also one shot where a cloned version of Syl or Eve, I'm not sure, is hunted by a predator because apparently this female predator's brother was shagged to death by Syl. So as a matter of honor, she goes after. It's a one-shot comic. It's not in the same homo bout, but if you can track it down and you're a fan of Predator, give it a go.
There it goes. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Like I knew about the comics, but I hadn't seen any of them because it happened sort of in this period of time where I wasn't collecting as much. And, hey, I just couldn't find them.
There was another series that is a sequel to the first movie done by Avatar Press. They do ferals, they done Crossed, they do a lot of gory, sexually explicit horror comics, and they do a really good job with this story. So if you get a chance and you want something a bit more serious with a bit more refined art in that is good, but it's definitely of its time. Check out the Avatar Press adaptation.
Oh, hey Natalie, it's about. I know False Proxy already answered you, but I'll give you an answer. I noticed you said that. It's about Species, the first 4 Species movies, and anything related to it. H.R. Geiger, I guess, by a greater extent, just because You got to mention him. Got to
Hey,
mention him.
Proxy.
How you doing,
Hey.
Proxy?
It's kind of sad though that like guys like Geiger and Savini and Winston kind of got phased out by CGI and shit. Like I don't know. Like I like CGI enough, but I feel like if you got a guy here saying he can make this all, like he's offering to make all this shit for you and like do it. Like you take that shit. You don't blow them up.
The thing is, Trenchy, with practical effects, yeah, they're awesome, but I'm not defending you. I'm disgusted by how overused CG is, but it is time consuming. Whereas some fucker can open up a program on a computer and whip up a dinosaur. Like that's as the Jurassic World movies went on, or Jurassic Park movies went on. You got more CG dinosaurs, and as the Alien and Predator movies went on, you got more CG aliens. It's just practical effects are amazing, but they are time consuming. And the sad fact of the matter is, it's just easier for a studio to go, here, fucking fire up the program there. Cook me up 2 dinosaurs, 1 alien, a giant scorpion, and a woman with 6 boobs.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I like.
Oh yeah,
CGI.
Kara's dead right. Kara's dead right. But it's at the end of the day, it's about fuckers who are like, oh, this movie's going to be out in the end of the year. We need these effects done pronto, and we need them done quick, and to a certain extent cheap. Because if something isn't as labor intensive, it works out cheaper as well.
I mean,
which suffers, makes the movie suffer.
I do like CGI, don't get me wrong. I do like it, but it's like, and I get that it's time saving and shit, but it's like you got some talented guys out there that are gonna do some shit. I wish they got more like attention.
Rick Baker, Tom Savini, ADI Workshop, Alec Gillis, Stan Winston. He was fucking rolling down his studio.
Stan Winston. Anybody who has done anything in special effects will say they got most of them got their inspiration from Stan Winston.
Stan Winston's the shit.
Yeah. It's just mentioning Rick Baker briefly. The guy who did some of the special effects work, he was Boss, I believe it was Boss. Boss Studios. He actually worked with Baker, and he even did some work on Star Wars, if I'm not mistaken.
He was promptly fired from the set of Predator when the Predator looked like a Power Rangers villain, and Van Damme refused to wear the suit. Also, so fun fact there.
So yeah, that is something to take with a grain of salt. And we got Jurassic Park to thank for the CGI revolution, and this movie actually had a hand in that too, because they developed a lot of software that was sort of new to the game for this movie, like the SIL. I'm trying to remember the SIL program, the model, the database it used like 10,000 times more processing speed and space than what they used in Jurassic Park even. So it was very advanced. It was it had like 1/10 of a second delay, but they could use it, and the director could look on a screen and they could move this digital puppet around however he wanted to. And that was sort of the advantage. But I guess it had so many. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. Again, the CG in this isn't great, but I think the main Achilles heel and problem to it as well, Ethel, is Sil, her form is both transparent and reflective, and I think they hadn't tweaked the look at the time, so that's why it still looks a bit ropey. It's still not good, but it looks like a hell of a lot worse because they're trying to get the reflection of the fire, and they're trying to get other stuff as well, and I think that's kind of what fucked them over for the end of this movie as well. Sorry.
No, you're right on. That's a very important point to make. You know, I was getting off into the technical area, which really isn't as interesting. You know,
Yeah, it is.
and they should have, like, what they should have done is they should have done an Alien 3 where they did a rod puppet on a
Full
scale
motion.
like that would have looked 100 times better.
Yeah.
Because all they really have to do is make its spine move and its arms and legs move, and you could do that with 3 rods. You know, just have a track in the wall and do it from behind the wall. It's very easy, very easy. But CGI was new. They paid the money for the software. They paid the money for the nerds to do it. They were inspired by the use of it in Jurassic Park. It was the hot ticket. They helped make it a hot ticket, even though it looked lousy. You know, what can you do? What can you do, guys? That's progress, I guess. I don't call it progress, but they call it progress. It's Hollywood.
I think if you use it in tandem, CG has
Yes.
its uses. To balance it. That's why Jurassic Park worked, I think, so well.
Yeah,
I will shut up. I'll go off on a tangent, and I'm saving that for next week.
Yeah, Jurassic Park relied more on the animatronics and stand-in models versus the CGI. I mean, it used it, but it wasn't as all-encompassing as it's made out to be.
It was a crutch, not a prosthetic.
Yeah,
That's the best way I heard it described.
and in this, it is used much more like a prosthetic. Some pieces, although they did have that awesome full body suit, they did have the head, they did have the. So I mean, they did have it, and they did use it. You know, and the tentacles were real. They used, well, not real tentacles, but you know what I mean. They were puppets. You know, the nipple tentacles. They just filmed that in reverse, so they had the guy have it in his mouth, and then they pulled it out of his mouth, and then reversed the film to make it look like it's shooting down his throat. And, you know, so we got that, and it looked great. Looked great. Still looks good today.
Well, at the end of the day, like whipping titties, you can't. It's going to be hard to do whipping titties in CG. That's all I'm going to say. I'm no expert, but
Yeah, I'd never until I saw the film did I ever think I'd be saying nipple tentacles.
Yeah.
unless you're in Japan. If you're in Japan, it's probably just a usual Tuesday for them that third.
Right?
Yeah, it was a thing, and I liked it. It looked cool. It was a cool design. I don't know what more to say about that. I guess that brings us on to that second film, guys. I don't know what you can say about the second film. It was, I think the director was a French fella, or no, he wasn't French. He was Bulgarian.
That explains it. Those dirty fucking Bulgarians.
Peter Medic from The Changeling, Zorro the Gay Blade, and he did a TV movie for Space 1999 called Cosmic Princess.
Ooh.
And if you listen to the commentary on this DVD, his accent is thicker than pea soup. Dear God, it's a thick accent. That is a thick accent. And of course, this movie stars Natasha Henstridge once again, only this time she's not still. She's playing another embryo turned adult species alien, Eve. And you've got Michael Madsen coming back to reprise his role. You've got Marge Helgenberger coming back to reprise her role. And you got also in this movie, you got Matty Williamson. You might remember him. He was Bubba Blue in Forrest Gump. He was also Joe Dixon in The Purge, Election Year, and Baby Odell in Con Air. So.
Yeah, he's one of those that guy actors. If you can't get Denzel Washington, you get this guy. He's a bargain bin, Denzel Washington.
Yeah, he was good though. I liked him, and I liked him in Forrest Gump a lot. So like, I was surprised to see him later, because I think what was Forrest Gump 95 or was that 99? Like, what year was Forrest Gump? Was that 95?
Did it come out the same year as Pulp Fiction?
Pulp Fiction 92. Yeah, so like,
No,
I was surprised. 94. 94. So yeah, I was surprised to see Bubba Gump, Bubba Blue, in this film. I'm like, what? Okay, we'll roll with that.
Alabama, sir.
And you got George Dzunda. He played Dzunda. Yeah. He played Cobb in Crimson Tide. He was John in Deer Hunter. Gus Marin in Basic Instinct. Morin. Excuse me. Morin. Got Justin Lazard. He was Captain Blackbird in Universal Soldier: The Return. And he was also in 3 episodes of Miami Vice, 1988, not current. He's Patrick. And you got James Cromwell in this as well. He was Senator Ross. You might remember him in The Green Mile. He was Warden Hal Morris. Green Mile.
Or some of our younger viewers, he was Farmer Hoggett in Babe and its sequel, Babe Pig in the City.
And I know you're waiting. Oh, sorry, Mark.
I was just going to say, Addadu Pig.
Yeah, Addadu Pig. You guys, you're probably waiting for me to say it. I know Marty's waiting for me to say it. He was also Zephyrin Cochrane in Star Trek First Contact.
Yes. To take the man who was pissed drunk fucking made first contact with the Vulcans.
You know I want.
There's a leak! I've not detected a leak anywhere!
Yeah, so that's cool. You got Miriam Sear as Claire, and she was Claire in Gothic. She was Helen. Aaron, I can't read my own writing. Aaron Lax in Dirty Dance and Dirty Rice, and she was Judy Williams in Frankenstein and Me. And she also had a bit part as information officer in Roger Corman's Frankenstein Unbound, and that's the other thing I always got to mention is Corman. Always got to do that.
Gotta show love for the Corman.
You gotta show love for Corman. Corman. Gotta do it. Yeah. And facts about this movie: a lot of the sex scenes and nude scenes were shortened for the final cut. All of them, however, are available on the DVD as special features.
Yes.
Yeah, it's great. You get over a minute more, I think, or something like that with the added sex scenes. So money in the bank, guys. Money in the bank. This is the shortest out of all 4 Species films, and it's the only film in the franchise where the alien doesn't die from a fall, of death, a fall of doom, a fall into like a pit of something, a fall into a friggin' box, a fall. It doesn't happen. You're not falling into a reactor here. You're just getting stabbed. You're getting killed. That's what happens in this one. So that's kind of cool distinction. Yeah, what'd you think, Marty? What'd you think of this?
Fun, but incredibly mean-spirited. I mean, like, there's a bit where, like, there's one scene where the poor female astronaut, she comes back and she's mad for a bit of hanky-panky with her husband, and her chest explodes and she dies instantly, and the tentacle fucking pins into the wall. Or like, as you pointed out, Patrick is going around fucking killing women and transgender women, and it's just he does not give a fuck. He's definitely not as sympathetic. I don't think he's not as sympathetic as Still, although he does try blowing his head off with a shotgun. But,
Yeah. Which they had a lot of trouble with that scene just because of how they had to film it, and they've got that cool effect where the camera goes around him in that chair.
Yeah.
Which the director is a big fan for that. He would call himself a what the hell did he say? Not a fetish for it, but he's got an obsession for doing that in every movie. He's got to do that around the character scene. I don't know. It's a thing he does. Don't judge him, I guess.
He wanted to try and do the Matrix before the Matrix. Just the camera.
Yeah, it's just he talked quite a bit about all sorts of things like that in his commentary, which I found interesting. But he didn't say much other than what he liked and what he had a penchant for doing. So I learned more about him when I did this film.
The movie.
But yeah, and they had Geiger involved in this one, even though by looking at the alien you wouldn't think it was his work. It looks different. It looks like a Geiger thing to me.
Here, Ethel, I'm gonna just for the audience, if you want, give me 1 second. I'm gonna give a quick show of Patrick and how he looked different from Sil. I have a picture here if you want to bring it up.
Oh, sure. Let me. It doesn't alert me when people do that. Hold on.
Wait, there was a dude alien in this one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now keep in mind, Ethel, again, I could not get the movie version, but this is as close to the design. And it just, I don't know why, but Patrick just looks like a cow to me. That's what Yeager wanted. He wanted something that looked like a bull. I don't know.
Yeah. What can you do with that? I mean, it doesn't look like you can tell his heart's not into it, is what I think. I don't think his heart was into it.
And it's like Sil is a bit taller, but she is humanoid and of humanoid proportions, while Patrick seems to be some fucking quadrupedal. Again, Geiger wanted a bull, but I just don't know the genus of the species that, like, one is a humanoid biped and the other is a quadruped, like, you know.
Well, like, Patrick's infected from the alien slime, not to be confused with the deadly Venusian slime from our movie on Friday night, but it looks very much like it. Very much like it. And guys, if you see that, Mark will know what I'm talking about because he's also seen it. I know Marty knows. They basically ripped off the Venom saga for the scene where the astronauts get infected with the slime.
Patrick's essentially fucking J. Jonah Jonason's son. Astronaut hero.
Like Trenchy, you haven't seen it, but let me run this by you, see if this sounds familiar. They go to an alien planet, Mars. Okay, it's not an asteroid. That's okay, right? They find the substance and they take it and they put it in a metal cylinder and they put the cylinder in the back of the space shuttle, and then the cylinder suddenly pops open and this black ooze comes out and it crawls along the floor and then it shoots up all the astronauts and covers them.
That's fucking Venom in the 90s Spider-Man cartoon. That's like the fucking... That's exactly what happens in the 90s
Trenchy. We're not finished here. What if one of the astronauts is like a kind of all-American Boy Scout whose father is very powerful and has ties to the media?
What the fuck? That's
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
Now this movie was made. Hold on, where's my thing? This was made in 1998. So what was on TV the same time, Trenchy?
Fucking 90s Spider-Man. 1994 it premiered, I'm pretty... Jesus!
It's okay, Trenchy.
But they also ripped off another movie. Go back to the 1980s. There was a movie called Creature, where Russian and American astronauts landed on Mars or Venus, or one of them, and they were taken over by a parasitic creature.
Ooh. Was
Also,
it made around too?
if you want to be pedantic, Ethel, the whole franchise could be ripping off Life Force. Fucking sexy naked alien lady coming down bonking the human race into extinction. Does it sound familiar?
Boy, what is it with MGM and horny aliens? Jesus, that woman. Holy Christ.
That's their kink.
There was no
at least with canon, you could say it's Golem and Globus being perverts.
But hey, you know, it is what it is, and you're right though. This movie, the character Patrick it's a lot more mean spirited movie in general, but he's a bastard. He's a freaking bastard. You know, at least when Syl kills someone, there was like a reason. You know, like she was scared. The guy tried to rape her. Yeah, basically it. Or the person was competition and was a complete bitch.
Like the fact is, like Patrick is evading, kind of capture. People could argue, oh, his father, James Cromwell, who's Kara's dead, right? Sex sells.
Totally.
And MGM like to sell sex. If it ain't alien babes, it's British spies bonking Russian women. You know,
If it works, don't fix it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. This movie, it had some good ideas. You know, we got a male alien, which is kind of cool. We got him fighting Syl, not Syl, excuse me, Eve, who, unlike Syl, is not bad guy in this movie. She actually, I'm not going to give any spoilers away, but she's actually on the side of right.
She's an ally to Marge Hallenberger's character.
Yeah. You know, she raised her up right.
There's even a bit where the army are testing a nerve agent to dissolve her skin, and Euron's like, look, I'm not fucking going to be doing this for the whole time. And they use her as well as kind of a tracking device for Patrick, because like they're linked psychically, yeah.
It's weird. I never understood that, because that's not one of the aliens' abilities. And Patrick doesn't seem to have the other ability where he can sense genetic weakness.
But the other thing I'm wondering is, right? So the genetic material they used to make Syl and Eve, that was from a SETI satellite, which was millions of miles in the fucking, I think the paraclinical system or something like that, some weird fucking system outside our universe or our galaxy, right?
Yeah, SETI got a signal from some weird universe outside our galaxy that gave instructions on how to combine DNA to create an alien hybrid of human and whatever their sequence was.
Okay, so and now the thing is, I maybe the creature that was found by the crew wasn't indigenous, but like maybe are we getting into Prometheus things? was the creature that Patrick had become, was that indigenous to Mars, and why did it share traits with Eve and Sil?
I don't know. It's weird. Like they insinuate that the aliens sent that information to Mars, and Mars must have had some advanced civilization that was wiped out by hybridizing with this alien species. And maybe he's part Martian, part human.
Yeah.
Part
Do you think that's why he looks like fucking Daisy the cow?
that could be. You pop a bell around his neck, he's all set to go. Thank goodness he like a cow wang or something. Spared that, I guess. But just an odd choice. An odd choice.
The other thing, kind of like, they had subplots that seemed to go nowhere. That was my other issue with the movie. Peter Boyle's character is that the actor's name? He was Raymond's dad in Everybody Loves Raymond. You know who I'm talking about. It's just him and his whole backstory about warning the Pentagon, and like press starts laughing at him when he says he broke the Pentagon officer's jaw and got put into the psych ward. I was like, this is going nowhere. There was some investigation in the lab that went nowhere. It's just
it's all full of stuff that goes nowhere, and you're not sure what the purpose is of any of it. And that's part of the problem this film suffers from. And then you've got the other issue where, all right, he's building an army of alien children, but like, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Help me out here.
The thing is, I suppose, okay, so, like, I don't think he's trying to build an army. I think it's just a case that, like, fucking Patrick's just the worst fuckboy on the planet. He plays him and lays him, and he's like, shit, I got a kid. What do I do? I leave it in the barn. Shit, I got another kid. What do I do? Leave it in the barn. He's just fucking collecting these children like Pokemon cards and leaving them in the fucking barn. And by the finish, he's about 30, 40 kids in this barn, and they all turn into cocoons. So I think maybe on a genetic level, it's something maybe like the xenomorph. It procreates so we can survive. But I don't think Patrick is like, I want to take over the world. I think it's just a case of like, I'm fucking horny. Every time I shag, I have a child. What I do.
I would agree with that assessment. Patrick is by far the one detractor from this franchise. I didn't like him as a character. Like you said, Martin, he's a fucking fuckboy. He shags and then splits. Like, fuck.
No, he shags. The women split, then he splits. It's like, oh, fuck, what the fuck do I do with this look?
Yeah, it's like he's like, fuck you. He's just like, go, shoo. I'm done.
Yeah, he's like he's got the equivalent of a fucking Chinese sweatshop in that fucking barn by the end of the.
It's just there's a lot that they could have done with this film, and then you're supposed to be worried that they're gonna mate, and then she's gonna have an alien offspring, and then like that really pretty much goes nowhere. I mean, they have a showdown and stuff, and we all know what happens there, but
also
I don't know.
I without giving too much away, not saying what character, but did you get the distinct feeling of one particular character being dispatched was maybe a statement about forced fellatio? Because that's how one particularly important character dies in the end when she saves It's like, bleh, there. Well, there you go. Although a lot of people argue the same thing is done in. I don't know. Sorry, there's a whole thing I read about like what subliminal rape culture in modern science fiction. I read the Terminator 3, where Arnie is shoving his fuel cell down at TX's throat. Apparently, it's subconscious fucking oral fucking rape. It's like,
I just figured like it's a bomb and it's gonna blow up and that's her head. So like,
yeah, but it apparently then again I read the article. It's like Arnie, the masculine stronger robot is shoving his long cylindrical device into the female robot's mouth to subdue her.
hey, it's
I
no
don't know.
flame between the legs. I know that.
I don't know. I'm just interested. Is it a case that like, is it a case male directors are like, yeah, take that woman?
Well, I don't know, man. They say a lot of weird shit. Like they were trying to say that like Han Solo, like sexually assaults fucking Leia in Star Wars and shit. It's like sometimes these people go too far, man. I
Wait,
feel
when
like.
did that
What the scene?
When he kisses her on the Falcon, but yeah, no, hold on. It's
Yeah,
not as
yeah.
look. It's not as
Yeah.
bad. Trench, it's not as bad as the giant claw where your one's fucking conked out in the seat of the airplane, and your man's like, hey.
I know, man. I know. These. Well, the thing is, I watched the video and they had it out for Harrison Ford, man. They were going after Han Solo. They were saying Indiana Jones was like raping chicks and shit. Not raping them, but sexually assaulting them. They said Decker did, like from Blade Runner. Like they were going off.
No, but the thing is, apparently in science fiction it's prevalent. It's like it's cloaked under fantastic elements. So they're saying, oh, the end of Species 2 or Terminator 3. They really went to pardon the pun, no pun intended. They really went hard on Terminator 3. The end of Terminator 3.
I'll have to watch Terminator 3 again. I can see it in Alien though, with the like magazine down the throat, like that. I can.
Oh
see
yeah, yeah.
the
That was
that.
that was. Scott even said that. Scott admitted that Ash, like David, had human tendencies. He had a passive-aggressive nature that was evolving into a sexually violent nature and dislike towards Ripley, and that's what the magazine was about. But sorry, I got us off topic, Ethel. Sorry.
That's okay. That's all right. It's somewhat relative because you gotta irrelevant because you gotta mention these things. It's weird. I do know that the director himself, while he certainly didn't have a problem filming these scenes with people who weren't the main actor, the primary protagonist, he was sort of bashful about showing Natasha Henstridge strapped to the chair naked, and that's why you've got those bright blue straps all kind of extra thick and awkwardly put on her in the chair, which it looks aesthetically unpleasing because it's like, what? But that's why that.
I don't know why, but Ethel, when I see that, I'm like, why do I think of a Devo music video? I don't know why. I was like, Devo.
Well, if you listen to him on the commentary, he's talking about, we spent great lengths in trying to adjust the straps and working with the straps to get them to cover the breasts. And he didn't want to show the breasts because we always feel like it's one of these movies where you always have the people objectifying the primary characters. It's like, what the fuck, dude? It's just
put a sports bra on her. Like she does a like. I don't think she needed to be fucking bollock naked in order to use her fucking powers, or when it was when they were testing out the gas, right?
Yeah, it's that scene where they're testing out the gas. It's like one of the few.
The fucking worn clothes has like.
But like, couldn't she have just done that in a pair of underpants and a tank top? Like,
Yeah,
like, did she
that's
really need to be
45
naked?
fucking pair of knickers. Grand.
But the,
Water.
but listen to him. It's like, no, she had to be naked, and we had to make sure those straps covered her nether regions so that you couldn't see them.
But okay, so to the poor guys going in to watch this movie, that's the equivalent of that's the equivalent of calling over Jack Russell with a treat and then fucking slapping him in the head with a newspaper. Oh, you want a treat? You want a treat? You want a treat? Too bad. Too fucking bad.
Hey guys, look at these taters. Whoosh, no taters for you. But I don't know what goes on in the heads of some of these directors. They all on both commentaries, the first one and the second one, they all like the first one not as much, but they all seem to dance around the nudity a little bit, and they try to justify it in some way or another. And it's like you don't really need to justify it. She is an alien in the movie. The first one, they don't really try to do it as much because it's more apparent why she's naked. The second one is sort of problematic because she didn't really have to be naked. But then it's like I wouldn't really have thought about it if he hadn't gone on for like 10 minutes talking about the straps and adjusting the straps to make sure she was naked, but you could not see anything. Just put her in a shirt and some panties.
Yeah. Like the thing is, that's what she's in when she's in the fucking quarantine cube as well. She's wearing a shirt and a pair of knickers. Grand, no bother. Or even fuck it. If you want to fucking have her nude, but don't want to show it, have a monitor. Have a fucking monitor in front of her. Have a screen. Have it in shadow. Have it from a side angle or something like.
Yeah. But it's like I don't understand. It's either you have either show it or don't show it. But like, don't sit there on a commentary and wet your pants about it. You know?
It's like those blue straps as well. It just felt like someone was going to press a button and that chair was going to shoot through the roof.
Yeah, it looked ridiculous.
Go!
It looked ridiculous. And you saw it in the trailer, which didn't film at all. And this film did not do as well as the first one. But I mean, you could say that about most sequels. But I don't know. Get to address the straps. You did the straps. They had to cover with the.
Someone put that fucker in straps. Dangerous.
But again, he didn't have any problem with all the other sex scenes in the film. Didn't have any problem with that nudity. I don't know. Yeah.
Quick fun fact for you, Ethel. There is a TV show called She Spies, starring Natasha Henstridge. And there's a scene where they're trying to break into a beach house. Her and her other friends, She Spies. And they're in bikinis. It's a Charlie's Angels. Early noughties Charlie's Angels knockoff, and they're breaking in, and they're being followed by a bunch of teenage boys, and like one of them wants to like fucking beat the shit out of teenage boys, and Natasha Henstridge is like, "No, I got this. Hey boys, Species is on Cinemax, and you got the cartoon running sound, and the kids go running off." So she obviously has no problem taking the mick out of this movie because it started her career, and she appreciates it.
Yeah, no, and she liked this movie. She liked doing the sequel, and she did the third one, but she was really only in it for a short cameo. A fun, interesting fact. It's not really fun because it's kind of sad, but when she went and saw the premiere for this, and she'd never been in a movie before. She'd never seen herself in a movie before on a screen that big. And she actually was kind of upset about it. She not with how the movie turned out or anything, but just upset with how she thought she looked on screen. And she actually left the thing crying, and her publicist was there, and her agent was there, and they're like, "Oh my God, is she going to be okay?" Because she's still got to go around and publicize this movie after the fact and do pressers and stuff. But
she looked fucking gorgeous. She looks absolutely, and that's not me being a total horn dog either. she looked awesome in that movie. Like her, I know it was her first movie, and maybe it played to her strengths, but there was a naivety to it. And like the thing is, Syl is essentially a child. Like where she's going around and she doesn't know about money, and she doesn't know about clothes, so she buys the wedding dress. It's kind of this naivety of a child, and she learns stuff from TV, and I think that worked as well, and I think she done a fantastic job.
Yeah, it was. That's the thing about it is you feel bad for her. You almost don't want to catch her and kill her because you're like, well, she doesn't know any better. I think it's the producer or the director, somebody involved put it this way: is she doesn't kill people out of malice. She kills people like a lioness would kill somebody. She kills the gazelle not because she's evil or mean, but because she's hungry.
Yeah. Like, the poor lady who she kidnaps in the car, that's when you start to kind of change your motivation. But by and large, I didn't see Syl in the first movie as malicious. She's just an extraterrestrial who's trying to survive. Like, again, the thing is, like, fucking Finch tried to gas her in her sleep, and you're like, okay, you're worried about this. Maybe put her into a more contained area. Maybe have all female staff like they do in the second one. Maybe fucking don't literally don't throw your baby out with the bathwater. This is a huge fucking find. You've made a hybrid alien creature, and you're like, fuck it. Burn it, we'll start again. No, you fucking don't. Like,
well, they made it indeterminate about whether Fitch is a good guy or a bad guy in the film because they had it in such a way where it's like you don't know if he's happy about it, if he's sad about it, if he's doing it because he wants to, because he's being told to. But the second movie is proof of concept. You don't need to kill her. Just treat her like a person and be nice to her. I mean, they do gas her with chemicals to see if they could kill her, but I mean, at least they're nice about it.
Like, they let her watch Duke. I like the fact she gets turned on by Dukes of Hazzard. She likes the Duke boys.
Just good old boys. Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, no, I had fun with it. It's just a lot more mean-spirited. And Patrick looks like a giant cow in hybrid form.
The hybrid cow alien, and he just was looking for somebody to milk him. Oh, gross.
He should. You know what? Mark Hamill would have been down for that. If it was blue, he would have milked him. Right, Trench?
Trenchy, oh, you're on mute. Damn you.
He's gone watching Species, guys. He's gone watching Species. He's broken out the DVD and the packet of Kleenex.
Right now he's explaining to his mom, no, it's not softcore porn, I swear.
Look, Trenchy, I don't know what is your science fiction. Real mom, it's really science fiction.
Mom, I swear this is science fiction.
The next scene, she's walking up like, where can I find a man? All right, what are you watching?
I will admit, so I don't know if you guys had big kind of a big kind of club culture, if he would have gone out to nightclubs and stuff. But I watched this with a friend of mine, and she's from Galway. She goes out and stuff like that. And the bit where Syl kills your wife in the toilet for like chatting to the guy, I was like, you're not enjoying this. And she's actually there with her arms folded. She goes, I could see some of the bitches in the nightclub doing that. And I'm like, what do you want about? Just like,
It's true. You're making time with somebody, then some tart comes moseying over. Oh, I need to go to a party and I have no one to take me. And then you get to the bathroom and they're like, hey, all's fair in love and war. Yeah, fuck you, bitch.
would you pull a spine out? Would you go through the fucking toilet wall? Apparently so. It's plausible.
But that's how it is out there, guys. People pulling people's spines out right in the stall. It's what you do when you're out clubbing. It's what you do.
As your one said, as that floozy said, all's fair in love and war.
Hey, she did tell Syl that it was okay to kill her. She doesn't know any better. She's an alien. She's like, okay, how about this, bitch?
Oh. Fucking taking her out like a fucking Slim Jim. God.
But that's the first one. That's the second one. The third one, which you haven't seen or you've seen some of.
I've seen bits, and I was like, so the Sci-Fi Channel are doing Species movies now, huh? I don't. It's obviously not the Sci-Fi Channel, but I was like, it felt like I was watching like. I was like, oh, it's a knockoff of Species done by the Sci-Fi. Oh my God, this is actually a Species movie. Yeah.
It feels very much that way. It takes place right after the second one leaves off, except you've got a guy driving an ambulance. You've got Eve in the back of the ambulance, dead, but then she's all of a sudden not dead. Then she's pregnant. There's also a child in the back of the ambulance with her.
Yeah, there was that part. I was like, okay, I'm impressed. As shoddy as this movie is, it has some elements of continuity. Because, like, yeah, at the end of the second one, there was a kid in the fucking ambulance, and fucking Eve's belly was going up and shit like that.
But then all of a sudden, Eve is alive again in the ambulance. She's having the baby. Then the kid kills her with his tongue. The fuck? I don't get it.
It's weird. Okay. We got Natasha Henstridge for 3.5 minutes. Wait, no, 2.5. Oh, 2 minutes. Okay, what do? We need to get rid of her quick. Let's have one of the fucking alien sons kill her. And like, are they siblings? No, because one of them is Patrick's fucking. One of them is that kid's Patrick's sweatshop child, right?
That's the last of Patrick's. That's the last of Patrick's sweatshop boys, and the one that Eve has is supposedly the baby that happened between Eve and Patrick, even though she was dead. Okay. That's all right. Whatever. All right. And then the ambulance guy who works for the government, apparently also works at a local college, kidnaps the child and raises the child as a test subject because he's a virologist.
Okay, well, yeah, I was just like, what fucking business does this guy have with fucking taking in a fucking alien child? It's like, I hate to say it. I hate to say it, Ethel, but I would find it more plausible if this dude was like a bit fucking, if he was a bit fucking a dirty nonce, like fucking taking this kid, than being a quote unquote virologist or whatever. But Yeah, it's just, like, I think I watched up as far as the train where she lost her arm. Is that, I can't tell because I might have watched segments of the other one as well, but I'd like the scene where she loses her arm in a train.
Yeah, because there's another one of the hybrid, excuse me, half-breeds on the train, and she can sense him. So she gets out of the car of this crazy UFO woman who's picked her up. And she's an adult now, folks, if you haven't seen this movie. And she's running after the train now. And she's running because she wants to get that guy. And she goes to jump for the train. And, of course, she goes and sticks her arm underneath it and gets her arm chopped off. And then, the alien obsessed woman freaks out and gets in her car and speeds off.
It's like,
Yeah.
I genuinely felt I was watching something that was maybe a tier or two above the Asylum. But what's your opinion, Ethel?
It's not a good film. It's bad. It's a bad movie. It sucks. It's I've seen worse. Unfortunately, this movie, however, was directed by Brad Turner, who, if he doesn't really sound super familiar to you, it's because he does a lot of made-for-TV stuff, a lot of TV shows. He's directed 8 episodes of La Femme Nikita, and he also directed 8 episodes of a favorite of mine, Stargate SG-1.
Okay.
So he's got something on his belt. I don't know what it is. I don't want to know what it is. But he's got something on his belt or under his belt. Who knows what's going on there? And this movie, it stars Sunny Mayberry, and this was, I guess, not her first role, but she hadn't really been in a whole lot. She played Allison in an episode called Provider of the TV show Angel, which she was also she was also Tiffany in Snakes on a Plane. So if you've seen Snakes on a Plane, you've seen her in that.
Oh, yeah, she shags her boyfriend in the bathroom and they're attacked by snakes. Of course, who can forget that Oscar-winning performance?
Oh, yeah. And you've got Robin Dunn in this, who plays Dean, her quasi love interest. You might remember him as Jimmy in Space Milkshake, or Ryan in The Skulls Part 2. He was also Bill in Teenage Space Vampires. So
that's quite a resume.
Quite the resume. Funny to note, Robin was they mentioned him on the back of the Spanish language version of this movie on the DVD case. They mentioned him as a girl, and they mentioned him under the wrong part because his name is Robin. So they didn't quite understand that he's girl's name, but he's all man. We've seen that in this movie. Yeah. And of course, as we mentioned earlier, you got Robert Napier. Napier. I don't know. There's no I in there. He was in Hitman. He was Teabag in Prison Break. He was in the Hunger Games, Mark and Jay Part 2. You know you love that.
I think he was in Transporter 3. Yeah, Transporter 3.
Absolutely. He plays Dr. Abbott in this. And, I'll tell you whose first role this was, though. This was Amelia Cook's first feature film debut, much like the last one was Natasha Henstridge's film debut. Is she a star now? Was she a star in the making? No. She was Dee in Tilt. She was Isis in Alien Agent. Sorry, Amelia. She played the alien, Amelia. So like your actor's in trouble when they got to give their character the same name.
The same name. Wait, we can't remember the actress's name. Just to make it easier, we'll name the character after him.
Guys, we got this great actress. She looks fantastic. She can't remember her name or her lines. It's all right. Just take away most of her lines. And
Ethel, which one turns up as a sexy alien nun? One of them disguises himself.
That's in the fourth one.
Yeah, so I have seen the fourth one. It's just I think I either watched this on Sci-Fi or Zone Horror.
Oh, we got Night Watch in the chat there. Hey, Night Watch.
Ethel, I'll be right back. I just gotta check something, okay?
Oh, totally. Gotta do what you gotta do, man. Yeah. So you didn't see this one at all, Mark? You got off the train after number 2, right?
Yeah, I didn't watch either of the last 2. I was just like, ugh. I liked what they were going for in number 2. I really did, but it's just, I don't know. It just didn't deliver, and I was just like, no more.
It had its problems. This one certainly has its problems too. Marty mentioned the cheap look of the film. It looks very cheap. This one shot 100% in digital. That's part of the cheapness. That because with digital, there is no surreal feeling. Like with traditional film, you shoot it on film. You got 25 frames per second. It feels surreal. It has a certain feeling. You shoot something on digital, now all of a sudden you're like 60 frames per second or 38 frames. I forget what the exact translation is, but everything feels too smooth. You lose that surreal quality, and I think that doesn't help a low budget film like this.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Because you watch something. Oh,
and
sorry.
wait, no, you're fine. I was just gonna say, I saw previews of 3, and just from the previews of it, I was just like, yeah, no, I really don't want to invest any more time in this franchise. Again, the original I give props to because it was very groundbreaking, and they'd never really explored, aside from Alien, they never really explored, alien sexuality in any sort of way. And so there, part 1, I really to me told the best story as far as like, what the, for the source material they were going for. 2, I could have fun with because it was just more along the lines of, throw the story out the window. We're just gonna have fun. Everybody's gonna be under attack. Just Patrick's gonna be a mean-spirited bastard. But as part 2 is ending, I just felt like I was like, no, they did not really do they did not do enough in part 2 to warrant a trilogy franchise.
Or a quadrilogy, which is what we got here.
Yeah, the fact that we got a 4th kind of baffles my mind.
Although we did get in this 3rd one, we got Michael Warren from friggin' Hill Street Blues, Officer Bobby Hill, not to be confused with Bobby Hill from King of the Hill. That's a different Bobby. But,
God damn it, Bobby!
Yeah, it always
kind of actually improved part 3 if Bobby Hill would have been the guy chasing after everybody.
I don't know. That's not Paris.
Bart Simpson would have fucking improved this.
No, you don't. I don't know you.
Also, Michael Warren, he was another actor that had a bit part in a Joss Whedon show. He played a doctor in an episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So, yeah, he had Hill Street Blues, and he had that going for him. And you got in this movie, you've got John Paul Pittock as Hastings, Dean's roommate, and he of course was in. Yeah, he was. Oh, geez, he was in 6 Feet Under. He was in 3 episodes of 6 Feet Under, and he was in a movie called Prick, and he also was in a video called Porno Outtakes, and he played the pizza boy. So,
yeah, does that say that says it all about the caliber of casting in this movie? I think, you know, like in fairness, they didn't have Eve's daughter played by a playmate. That I am fucking shocked by. Unless there's something we don't know about that poor girl who was in this movie, but just.
yeah, it's you know, it could have been worse. It could have been much worse. The producer, Frank Mancuso, he wanted this to be aimed at younger adults, so he wrote the characters to be a lot younger. That's why it takes place on a college campus. H.R. Geiger wasn't involved in the designs, probably not just because they couldn't afford him or he was kind of put off, but the producer wanted the creatures to look different from the original concept.
Oh yeah, that they did. That they fucking did.
They did. I don't know. Maybe he just wanted more like human-looking boobies, I guess, because that's what I noticed was kind of different. Like, what am I looking at here? You know? But hey, I'm not gonna kink shame. Do what you got to do, man. Do what you got to do. There were 3 cuts of this film. There was one made for the Sci-Fi Channel without the nudity and gore.
I fucking knew it. I knew the bastard was made for the Sci-Fi Channel.
So they did a special cut for Sci-Fi. There's also an R-rated version and an unrated version, which does feature a minute total of additional nudity, which is the version I have right here to my left. It's the unrated version. So I can safely say I have seen everything this movie has to offer.
And that said, not much.
Not much. They didn't have a very big budget, which is apparent. Also, there's a scene towards the end of this movie where a security guard gets cut completely in half by Sarah, the alien, there in this film. And that, or maybe it was Amelia. I don't know. They sort of look the same in the movie. You'll have to see if you really want to do that to yourself. That scene was added strictly because the guy who played the security officer wanted to be in the film, and you know who this guy was? He was their special effects guy, and he just happened to have a full-size, lifelike cast of himself that was already bisected.
Okay, fair play.
So he did.
Look, Joe, what? At least that was something. It was something different. I don't think we've seen anyone getting fucking cut down the middle in the other Species movies.
Yeah, and it's, hey, you know, whatever. Do I believe that she can just whip a tendril and it's going to cut somebody in complete half like that? No. Is it a very convincing because it's with CGI all over? No. Would it have been cheaper if they did 100% from? Yeah. Did they need to? No. It is what it is, guys. They made it. They said, hey, this is some good shit. In fact, they liked the job they did on this film so much that the director had the set dressers at the end put this sign on this bridge. I think it was like 119.9 or something like that on the sign, or 199 or just some friggin' number I can't remember. And they had it put it on the bridge, and he didn't tell anyone what it meant. And he said, "This is for the next person to make another one of these movies. The next guy to worry about. He's got to answer that for the fans." And what? What? They make a fourth movie. They don't answer this question.
Now watch. I hope you're talking about Natalie's arm, because if it's the franchise, you're going to be disappointed. I hope it gets better soon. No, Natalie's arm, I hope gets better soon, but the franchise, no.
Yeah.
Hey,
When you say Pizza Boy.
ugh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's totally pop that up on the screen there. Hold on so everybody can see, in case the chat's not there later. That happens sometimes. I don't know why. Yeah, no, it could be. It could be. It was called Porno Outtakes. I haven't seen that movie. I looked it up. I checked into it, and it's a comedy. And the IMDb page doesn't really tell you much other than it's a comedy and who was all in it. And there aren't really any reviews for it. So
And you deleted your search history after, right?
Oh no, I'm proud of my search history. Oh, hey, if I need to find out about that again, I'll want that in there. I want to find out. But so yeah, the movie ended. We had 3 movies. We said, hey, stop the train. That's it, guys. Time for the series to go to sleep for a little while. But it wouldn't sleep too long, because in 2007, we got The Awakening. We got Species The Awakening. Is this going to be great? Is this going to be new? A return to form, apparently. But no.
Okay, Ethel, I was given the third one a benefit of the doubt. Sci-Fi Channel, right? So they have a bit of integrity, right? This one, are any of the cast members adult in the adult entertainment industry?
No.
Oh, I'm fucking astounded. Okay.
Yeah, this one directed by Nick Lyon, who did They Found Hell, Bullet, Isle of the Dead, and Bermuda Triangle, the North Sea. I don't know if you've seen any of those.
It sounds like Horror Channel or Sci-Fi Channel.
It looks like Sharktopus versus Giant Squid. Kind of scenario.
Think of what you could be missing, Trenchy. I think some of these fuckers are up on Netflix. I know they were up on European Netflix. I don't know about American Netflix, Trench. So if you want to watch them.
Wait, the movies? Because I think I've seen Sharktopus versus the Giant Squid.
No, the Species movies. The franchise we're actually talking about.
Oop, I thought we were talking about the Sharktopus movies, because I've seen that.
No, we're talking about.
No. The guy who made Species 4, The Awakening, also made.
Put vodka in that orange juice. Oh, Christ.
Well, he also made like movies that sound like Sharktopus. But
maybe we were better, and maybe we were better off talking about Sharktopus than fucking Species 4. No, I'm just kidding. But
we'll do that on my Terrors from the Deep stream when we have that one, because that one will happen at some point in the future, at some late juncture. It's planned. It's on the books, guys. It'll happen. We'll get a Sunday. It'll happen. This movie, you ready for your cast? You got Helena Mattison from friggin' Iron Man 2. She was Rebecca in that movie. She was also Agnatha Is that an N? I have horrible handwriting. Agatha in American Horror Story, and Cassandra Overnakin. What the fuck? Ovchukin. I don't know. I haven't seen it. I don't watch it. But if you've seen Nikita, you know who I'm talking about. Cassandra and Nikita.
Wait, I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, she plays the star of this movie, Miranda Hollander, the species alien.
What's the connection to this, to the prior movie, or is there any connection?
All right. In this movie, the species alien embryo gets, there's another one. There was a series of them. You had Syl, you had Eve. Well, you also have Miranda in there as well. And they just happened to hatch her out of there in secret and suppress her alien genome so that she would maintain her humanness, I guess you would say, sort of repress the alien side of her. And yeah, she becomes quite the intellectual, as well as looking sort of like a supermodel. And she gives lectures at a school. And yeah, that's odd connection. It sounds kind of stupid. It is.
Anything notable? Any kills? Any sexy scenes? Any actors? So that guy actor kind of in it?
Oh yeah, well we got Ben Cross, who was Sarek in the 2009 Star Trek movie. So there's your Star Trek. He also played Barnabas Collins in the 1991 Dark Shadows series. Dark Shadows series.
Ooh.
And he played Nemo in a 1997 2000 Leagues Under the Sea made for TV movie.
Under the Sea.
Say what?
Is it Under the Sea, as in Sebastian?
Ethel,
No.
I'm going to take a wild guess here. I'm guessing they didn't get Geiger back for this one.
Yeah, Geiger was not involved in this. Well, actually, they didn't involve Geiger, but they did bring his designs back primarily. They based the creature designs more off of Geiger's original designs because the producers wanted to go back to that creature. They did not like the third one, and the popularity with the fans over the first two movies made them decide to go back to that. But the Geiger himself, it's best to my knowledge, was not involved in the production of this movie. They did get some notable stars, guys. They got Dominic Keating, who was Lieutenant Malcolm Reed in Star Trek Enterprise.
Ah.
And he was Andrew in Prison Break, and Kane in Beowulf, and Will in Heroes. So, he was in a few things. And they got Mexican TV actress Marlena Favia to play Azura, who was the evil alien species creature in this movie. You might know her from the movie Ruby. She was also in Gata Savio and Zorro La Espadilla La Rosa. So,
is she the one that's dressed up as the sexy alien nun?
Yes.
Yeah.
She is a sexy alien nun. And she gets taken out by a giant wooden cross at one point in this movie, but comes back and then gets taken out by a fall onto some wooden boxes. Kind of anticlimactic. But it does continue the tradition of species movies and killing their aliens with a large drop. So we're not lost, guys.
And does again, spoilers, does at least one of the species blonde women come out unscathed out of this one, no?
No. She dies. She dies. She goes evil and then dies.
Okay.
'Cause
I
the
thought
whole-
she was a good one. I thought it was going to be like,
She is. She's a good one at the beginning of the movie, and she's a normal human girl. And then she gets sick, so they have to go to Mexico to meet her adopted uncle's friend, who is also a scientific colleague, who apparently is bringing people back to the dead with alien DNA that he's stolen from a lab that did the Species Project, and he can create people from nobody, and he created Azura to sort of be his monkey or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. And it just gets more confusing from there. And they did use more animatronics and suit stand-ins, or not animatronics. Excuse me. They used suit stand-ins in this one and less CGI, although they did use a little bit. This was more suit stand-ins and stuff. So they sort of tried to go back to that. Yeah. Oh, and there's nudity in this movie, so don't be disappointed. They continued that species tradition as well. However, they did get a little bashful about it, and they did make use of some full and partial bodysuits in a few scenes. They tried to hide it, but they didn't really hide it that well. There's a scene where Miranda's butt crack disappears because she's wearing a bodysuit. There's a scene where she falls out of a cocoon. She's supposed to be naked, but she's obviously wearing shorts. There's a scene where another woman is completely nude, but she's not because she has no nipples. She's in a bodysuit.
Oh, no. Is she supposed to be an alien?
Yeah, but she's not in transform. She's just in human mode. And later on in the movie, you think, okay, maybe they're just trying to do away with the nudity. Well, I'm okay with that. I mean, they're trying to go for this whole different thing. Then later on the movie, they turn Miranda evil accidentally, and she's nude quite a lot after that, and even has sex with a guy in alien form, which is kind of weird, but okay.
Yeah, it's like, I think they said all they could say. As much as I have a soft spot for the second one, I think they said all they needed and could say with the first movie. Like, God help me, and I sing their praises. Dark Horse, people bitch, the Dark Horse comics, the Alien comics, and the Predator and the Star Wars comics are trash. They're shite side better than what came out, and this is another example of while that Dark Horse comic wasn't the best, it was a shite side better than what we got in those movies.
Yeah, we got these movies, and we started off strong. Then we got kind of tepid. Then we got like, what the hell are we doing? And then we got like more, what the hell are we doing? And it's just sort of lost its way as a series. They've said their piece. They couldn't come up with any different ideas.
We did get two very fucking awesome action figures. The second one actually be better than I have a link thrown in there, Ethel. Hang on 1 second. I've dropped there for you.
Oh, here, let me pop it on the screen there. I didn't know if it was a. Hold on.
Like,
hold on.
You know you're in trouble. You know you're in trouble when the Patrick action figure looks better than the actual animatronic design in the movie. But yeah, McFarlane released these. They later redone Syl from Species 2 in the green color. And
yeah,
so
it still looks like Groot. Sorry.
well, you think Patrick looks like Groot?
No, still looks like Groot.
Oh, okay.
Oh, looks like. Oh, wow. That's a new take. Groot with titties, right?
Yeah, if Still and Groot ever hooked up, that's what their child would look like.
But
Actually,
there was obviously a fan base there. We got a series of comics, we got action figures, and we got a franchise.
there's also a pretty awesome statue you can get. Like it's a little miniature figurine statue. It stands about this tall, very detailed. Supposedly it's laser scans or something of actual.
I know the one. I think it's Kotobukiya, and they are awesome, but they cost a fucking arm and a leg. Even the small ones are so highly detailed.
Yeah, this one's like $220. I found a reduced price version for like 180 or 150, but at that price point, hey, I'm all set. No, thank you. No, sorry.
I can see NECA go down the line doing maybe getting the rights because they got Universal, so I can see them getting MGM's rights to maybe fucking Species and what else? What other franchises with MGM? Like RoboCop. Well, yeah, they've done RoboCop already, so I can see them doing. Why do I? Which one? One of them had the MGM logo. I'm trying to fucking think. Was it the shitty fucking TV show? Maybe it was under MGM. It doesn't matter.
But yeah, no, you're right though. I mean, it'd be nice. It'd be nice if NECA would do one. It doesn't have to be like super detailed. I just have to be able to look at it and say, hey, that's Syl from Alien or from Species. Yeah, you know, and it has to be around $25, $30. Then I might buy that. But like at $50, $60, $70, $80, $200, that's just too much money, guys. Too much money. You're asking too much for something that's going to sit on the shelf.
I'll make you one for fucking less than half that. It'll be better. Hopefully I won't. I did it again actually, Ethel. I was fucking painting a new model. Forgot to air out the room. Spray paint mixed with the glue.
Oh dear God.
I had a bastard of headache after it. But yeah, no, yeah, the first one's good, second one's alright. I don't like. Would you even need a remake? Is this something that even? This is something that doesn't even need a remake.
I was saying, I said this in the backstage area. Now that Amazon has bought MGM, this is the opportunity. If you want to bring this back, here's what you do. You don't make another movie. You don't reboot a damn thing. Just make a TV series. All you need is the plot where they make the alien. It breaks free. It has a desire to mate. They have another alien that can fight it. There are hybrids out there that they have to hunt. And you've got a weekly show. That's all you need.
Would you bring Natasha Henstridge into the series as a new character, or bring her back as another clone? No.
This is what I would do. This is just quick thinking on my feet. If I would bring Natasha back, but as Syl, but I would have her, not just be some, alien that's out to just procreate. I would kind of turn it into like an X-Files thing where Syl has become a federal agent and is helping the FBI hunt aliens.
You could also do something like that. Okay, so the clone Syl, like. Was she a clone, or was she born, or was she grown in a test tube?
Syl was grown in a test tube, and Eve was a clone of Syl but was also grown in. They were all grown in test tubes,
But
except for
none of them had mothers.
none of them.
I was going to say, maybe you could have it that if Natasha Henstridge comes back, she looks that bit older. It turns out she is a special forces soldier who they used her DNA as the genetic template for the
Super soldier.
clone. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, not the soldier, Mark. For the clone, for the original Eve and Sil.
Yeah, like maybe that's what happened, and now you've got an older Henstridge, and she's there, and maybe they're consulting with her because she has some sort of bond genetically in an emotional
Psychic link
fashion.
or something.
Something like that, because they did that in the second movie with Patrick and Eve, so why not? Okay, so maybe that's how they control her. Maybe it's like, okay, well, she loves her mother somehow in some sort of way, emotionally. So, like, there's going to be.
You've got drama there. You've got drama in a way that maybe it's like, maybe she's like, I want to wipe these things out because they took a part of my soul or they took part of my DNA. But then
maybe,
this other thing who like sees this as her mother, and you could have that.
And maybe Natasha Henstridge's character has some sort of emotional conflict over, like, well, this is like my child, but it's not a child. It's sort of an abomination. But oh God, look at what we're doing to her. Oh, now we're using her to track other aliens and fight them. Oh, now we've got this big problem with aliens out there. And like, I think you do keep the breeding thing as part of it, because if these movies are about anything, it's about that, and you need some reason for aliens to be existing out there in the world, or alien hybrids out in the world to fight. So like, it's doable. And then you could have all sorts of different things where, like, oh, maybe you've got other labs that had a telescope, a radio telescope that received similar instructions, and maybe they did something different. Oh, now you've got like monkey aliens or dog aliens or friggin' bull aliens. Hey, you bring Patrick back. You got the cow alien.
New from Kenner species. Coming to Fox Saturday mornings. Species the animated series.
Maybe you've got like a Gillman alien. Like maybe they used some sort of fish or alligator or something. And now you've got Gillman.
Ethel, do you remember the gorilla alien and the Dilophosaurus in Jurassic Park? You press a button on Syl's back and she shoots like water out her tits. With special memory attack. Suck on these.
There's stuff they could do with this property where they could keep the spirit of what it was trying to do, and they could keep the idea of all these crazy things happening, and they could keep it alive, and they could keep the fans happy. What you don't do is you don't try to make the same movie 5 times, and you don't try to like have no plot that makes any sense, or have like 8 different red herrings of a subplot going on. Like, you just, gotta do something with it. But I would watch it. I'd give it a shot on Prime for free.
Yeah, like fucking God knows there's no fucking original, very few and far between sci-fi ideas coming out. I would be very cautious because given what's happened in the Alien, Predator, and Terminator franchise, I
look at it and I look what they've done with it with those last 2 movies we just got done talking
can't get
about.
any worse.
They can't really fuck it up worse than they already have. And maybe if they try to bring it back to its roots and put some sort of drama into it, maybe it could be salvaged.
Like, the thing is, I could see another fucking studio, MGM selling it off to another studio, and like I could see it being a total sci-fi property, and like they're like, okay, right, adult actresses, give me Body Rotten, give me fucking this, give me that, give me fucking Skin Diamond, just fucking. It's like, are these actresses? they're the type actresses we need for this. It's like, no. I was shocked. I was shocked the last one didn't have it.
I hate to say this because this will be the man pygmy coming out. But you could have got porn stars to make this movie without actually having to shoot porn, and you probably would have got just as good at acting as you got out of everybody in this cast.
You mean out of the latter movies, not out of the first movie?
Yeah, out of 3 and 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, the first 2 Species movies were. The first one was great. The second one was okay.
Yeah.
3rd and 4th were just yeah.
Well, the woman that got to play Azura was actually not that bad, but the problem is the writing was so weak. They had nothing for her to say or do. And it's just, that's, I think, was the problem with this 4th one. The 3rd one was just, it was kind of garbage all around. The acting was bad. The writing was bad. The plot made no sense. The 4th one, it felt like they were trying to write the part, but it just too little too late. And you still had nothing. The writing was too weak. It couldn't support anything. And the acting wasn't very good, except for from a couple people.
Look, if anyone out there hasn't seen these, watch 1 and 2. Maybe if you want to go that bit more, if you want to read the Dark Horse comic, maybe check out the Avatar Press comic.
If you're a completionist or a glutton for punishment like I am, watch the 3rd and 4th one, and maybe watch the 4th one a second time after to try and see if you can make more sense or make it seem that. Maybe just watch the 1st and 2nd one.
Yeah, that would be my advice.
You can pick them up pretty cheap used. I picked up the last 2 for, I think, $2 each used, so they weren't breaking the bank by any stretch of means. So
Natalie's asking where she could get it. Yeah, you probably find them in the thrifties as well, secondhand DVD store. So I don't know if you guys have it in the States. CEX, you have Kex in the States?
No,
No.
but Natalie, you could probably get it at Goodwill or Salvation Army if they have a section with videos and stuff, or you might be able to find it at an antique store where they've got a video section. Some of them have now. What?
Look in a pawn shop. They always have tons of DVDs.
Yeah, or a pawn shop. Pawn shop might be a good place to check it out. If you have a music store that sells videos, probably have it in there for cheap. Be a little bit more than I paid because it's brand new, most likely. But hey,
Natalie, I don't know if it's the case anymore, and I don't know if it's in the States, but I do know. God help me. 3 and 4 were up on Netflix, as well as being on the Sci-Fi Channel's online fucking channel.
And
what?
much like, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, my bad, Ethel. You go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say you could purchase them on Amazon, the physical DVDs. There's no shortage of copies out there. They're very cheap on there as well. So go ahead, Trent. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, one was put up by YouTube for free a while back, but I didn't get to watch it, but I think I looked in the comments and they did say it was edited. Like they edited some shit out, like important scenes, not even nudity, just like important conversation scenes were edited out of the.
I can see YouTube taking out the bappage, but why conversational scenes?
I don't know, but apparently there was a big scene important to the plot, and they took it out, and people were very upset.
And was it MGM that uploaded it?
No, it was YouTube. YouTube uploads movies for free. like
How the fuck does that work? Wait,
I don't know
one
that.
fucking second. Knight
They
gets
got-
pinched. Knight gets fucking pinched for putting up a 2-second fucking clip. Ethel gets fucking called on a. My God, you look like you look 12.
shit.
Knight,
This is all
Ethel gets fucking pinched on public domain movies.
These are all movies YouTube put up for free. You got your RoboCop, you got Bad News Bears, you got Sweeney Todd. This is all YouTube itself, the company. All full
How are they
movies.
doing that?
I don't know. They got Terminator on here, the first one. It's all free movies, just with ads. Like, and over the top, YouTube puts them up. It's like the company itself. It's not a channel. It's the company.
Trent, you might know, would Tubi have these available? Any of these, you think?
Usually they do. I could check, but usually they do. Like if it's a sucker for like what Tubi would have, you know. It sounds like Tubi material.
Yeah, Natalie, check Tubi. I would check them out because they might have it.
And
But
if
yeah.
you're some mad bastard who doesn't own a TV, a DVD player, but has the action figures, you could recreate it by mashing the figures onto naked Ken and Barbie dolls repeatedly, and then you got the gist of the plot. Like, just fucking bash your fucking species figures together in a rhythmic motion. Maybe want to cover them in KY jelly while you're at it. I don't know.
You got to do the old thing where you take them and you bang them together.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. YouTube fucking sucks. YouTube are
That
assholes.
would be better if I had action figures and not markers, but that's okay. You get the idea, guys. We've all done that. And now they're married. But yeah, no, it's cool. It's cool. I recommend watching them. I really do. Well, the first two I recommend watching. If you're into science fiction, you're into the work of H.R. Geiger, you like the alien movies, mostly on design aspects, not on actual content. They were great movies too, but like these are not as good. I'd recommend them. Good stuff. Good stuff to watch.
I'll check it out.
Yeah. Of course, if you don't mind nudity, that's all the better because they're chock full of it. But that's not the point of the first movie, even though some people I've seen in reviews call it softcore porn, and I guess they must have been watching, with one hand free. So I don't know, but yeah, no.
Yeah, again, what Ethel says, they're good, substantial movies. Fucking second one, pretty good. Like, you don't need to just be looking for a hand shandy to go watching them. You can just fucking, they're good science fiction movies out there.
Absolutely.
No, Species does not seem to be on Tubi.
Oh man, I was hoping you'd say they'd have it. We'd have a solution. Yeah, but hey, it's not that bad on DVD. So maybe you. I know you can rent it. You could probably rent it off of Amazon for $1 or $2. So
That's Amazon doesn't have Species. Is that what I heard?
No, you probably could rent it or buy it. You could buy it. You most certainly could buy it. You could probably rent it for like $1 or $2 or whatever the going rate is. So yeah, I think we pretty much covered it, guys. Yeah. Any other tidbits you want to mention about these films, this franchise, before we kick off the episode?
If you have seen Species and you enjoy it, and you're looking for something up that alley, check out a movie called Splice with Adrian Brody and Sarah Polley. Very, very similar to an extent. Kind of interesting, kind of genetic, sexually charged, erotic kind of science fiction horror thriller. Have you seen that one, Ethel?
I don't think I have, but there's another movie that comes to mind. If you want sexually charged alien-themed kind of movies, check out Roger Corman's Breeders, because that's all aliens getting it on, and much more explicit than these films, believe it or not.
Yeah.
But that's Corman, guys. What do you want from Corman? Come on, you know how he goes. You know how he does.
The man has made his career from sleaze and cheese.
The complete series, brand new in a box that is $20 on eBay.
Oh, $20 to get all 4 films, guys. Like, wait, Mark, what are they all unrated, or the full versions?
It didn't say. It just said the complete collection. So if you're going to, if you want Species that badly, I don't think $20 for all 4 movies is a bad deal.
Yeah. Look, Natalie, yourself and Brittany should go out, buy it, sit down, have some great fun. After a chuckle a minute, a chuckle a fucking minute. These movies
Yeah.
are.
Yeah, they are.
You get to the 3rd and 4th one, and it's like, what the fuck am I watching? And honestly, that's some of the best fun you can have watching a movie, is wondering why you're watching it or what they're trying to do.
And what the fuck they were smoking.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's cool. I like this franchise. In fact, I didn't realize how much I liked this franchise until I started rewatching the first film and the second one. I'm like, oh yeah, I really like this. And then I got to the 3rd one, and I'm like, I still like this, but this isn't a very good movie. And well, it just was downhill from there. But I still like the franchise. I won't hold those last 2 movies against it. Excellent, Natalie. Excellent. Oh, False Proxy says, Hoopla Digital has them all. Visit your local library to check them out. Ooh.
Oh, shit.
Wait, I'm in public. I know there's public libraries that do DVDs. I'd like this copy of The Old Man and the Sea and Species 2. Do you live alone, sir? Yes, I do. There's your book in your sci-fi spot.
Try not to feel weird about the dirty looks the librarian gives you underneath her horn-rimmed glasses. It's just... Don't feel any kind of way about that, guys. Just rent them, soldier on. What you
You're
gonna
just-
do?
I would get worse than dirty looks, because all the librarians at the library here all know my nieces and nephews, and they'd be like, "What the fuck are you exposing those girls to?"
It says, warning, explicit erotic content. Miss, I'm an intellectual. Thank you.
You're going out and you're like, look, Caligula is still on that fucking desk. I didn't touch that. Now leave me the fuck alone.
But anyway, I'm going to end it right here, guys, because I have got to conserve some stream time. I've got one more stream coming up, not a Sci-Fi Sunday, but I've got another watch along coming up on the 11th, and I'm going to need some time for that. I don't know what movie it's going to be. You can currently vote for them on my Twitter. I know you guys have already voted, but other people out there may not have voted. We got Isle of the Snake People with Boris Karloff up on the chopping block. We got Claude Rains in Battle of the Worlds. We got friggin' Messiah of Evil. and we got the Japanese science fiction breakthrough Warning from Space. So, like, yeah, stop by my Twitter. If you're following me, you know how to get there. Give them a good give me your decision. You decide these movies. And if you're new and you're not following me on Twitter, it's underscore Ethel underscore cross underscore. Go there, click a movie, write it down in little comments. I'll give it a like. You know you've been counted. You like these videos? Hit the subscription button. You know, leave a thumbs up. You think they suck? You need me to stop doing this sort of thing? Give me a thumbs down. Tell me why. Like, why are you watching? First off, if you don't like it, but give me a thumbs down if you don't, and let me know. But what you really should do, instead of all that stuff, if you're gonna do anything, is go follow this fella here to my left, Trash Pick Show Party, or this fella down here. Why not follow both, Trenchy, and this fella down here, Rex Monsters, Madmen. Follow him as well. Follow these three guys. They're friggin' reviewing stuff, doing stuff, making it happen, and having fun doing it. If you like me, you like them, and if you don't like me, you'll still like them. So there you go. But yeah, I'm gonna thank you all for joining me, guys. What's coming up next? Anything in the works before I click the old end button?
Tuesday, I'm officially starting Jurassic June. For my birthday, we are going to be watch streaming the 1993 classic Jurassic Park, and then from Sundays onwards, we are going to be looking at the 5 movies in the franchise. So I'm going to have Jurassic World and Fallen Kingdom together one Sunday night, but Jurassic Park, Lost World, Jurassic Park 3, and the 2 Jurassic World movies. So should be fun. And I might be doing other dinosaur stuff interspaced in between.
Sweet. Everybody loves Jurassic June. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be epic. Trenchy, what's coming up next, buddy? What's going on? What's the haps?
I don't know. I don't know what's happening, but I'm hoping to start production on Spidey July, get those videos made by July and shit. So that'd be cool. But that's about it. There's another video I want to make.
Spider-Man. Are you going to dress as Spider-Man while you try and review them?
No. I don't have a Spider-Man suit, or I would. That'd be the shit.
You could do face paint like they do with little kids at the carnivals.
I'll consider it.
Wait, Trench. You could get a pair of welding goggles and get parts from the vacuum cleaner, stick them into a backpack, and pretend you're Doc Ock.
There you go.
That would actually be kind of dope. If I can pull that off, that'd be dope.
And Mark, anything in the pipelines coming up? Any more watch alongs, watch throughs, hangouts?
Before I jump head on into the Child's Play franchise, I'm going to be ranking my top 10 Mortal Kombat characters.
Ooh,
nice.
Should be pretty damn good.
And then after that, I'm going to start doing the Child's Play franchise watch-alongs and discussions.
Excellent. It's a great series to work on, to talk about, to do a stream for and of. So, like, yeah, look forward to that, Mark. And before I want to thank everybody in the chat. I want to thank Natalie, John Steele, False Proxy Server, Ben Grimm, Night Watch Zone, June Bug, who's also here, and
Sarah.
Sarah was here as well. Horror Retrospective. Cannot leave her out of it. And everybody I have missed, don't feel bad because there was a lot of people to mention, and I still love you. So, yeah, thanks for watching. And I'll see you guys all next time. Adios.
Stay frosty.
Ciao, Bella.